You know, so it's like really big now.
If you hang out on the CU campus these days,
Do you want me to give you money for beer?
it probably won't be long
Well, I'll Venmo you.
before you hear a new verb.
It's like Venmo me.
Quick and simple, just Venmo me.
Hey, can you Venmo me for that pizza?
Venmo is a wildly popular person-to-person money transfer app, especially among millennials and college students.
Who here at this table uses Venmo? Raise your hand. Okay, so pretty much everyone here.
If you don't have it, you've at least heard of it.
So wait, if you haven't heard of Venmo, and a lot of people over 30 haven't, from splitting utility bills to paying for beer to reimbursing for concert tickets, Venmo is seen as a convenient way to avoid cash. Perfect for students.
I don't ever have cash on me to pay back my friends.
For Clara Neum, Venmo is also very social, linked to her Facebook account.
Looks like a lot of food and a lot of rent. As we can see, this little house, February house, and then $1.
Scrolling through Venmo, she can see how she and her friends are spending their money. Sort of.
I'm assuming this Broncos thing is a bet that they lost. I'm not really sure what this poop signal is.
And while Venmo calls itself one of the fastest growing apps in the world, processing billions of dollars, major security lapses came to light last year. Headlines like Venmo scammers know something you don't, and Venmo money, Venmo problems.
Is Venmo safe?
Certainly last year there were some reports that showed Venmo had some great security oversight.
Grayson Milburn is the Security Intelligence Director for Broomfield-based WebRoot.
Today I would say it's much more safe than it was a year ago.
On its blog, Venmo writes about new notifications and tripling customer support.
So this basically just shows you the app.
But Milburn says there's still room for security improvement, recommending users go into settings and turn on the PIN lock and notifications, both of which are optional.
Basically, you want to get every notification you can get that money is leaving your pocket.
Personally, that's how I like to roll. So, I think more awareness definitely is key. But that said, yeah, you know what? Today, after my review of the service, I do think that it is secure and safe to use.
And it's not going away. The parent company PayPal announced it will soon allow Venmo users to pay businesses with the app.
There's always a risk with everything you do.
For now, though, it's still only between friends.
I guess I bought potatoes from somebody.
Splitting the bill.
Pizza, yeah, pizza's really popular.
Just Venmo me. Jacqueline Allen,
School supplies, Taco Bell, t-shirt.
Denver 7.
And I was just starting to simmer inside.
When you depend on sign language interpreters,
I realized she was not qualified at all
to be your voice.
This has been going on for a very long time.
What happens when they say something you didn't?
It could be a life or death matter.
7 News has uncovered a potentially dangerous trend. Uncertified sign language interpreters sent to critical situations and falling woefully short.
And I had to do something.
We both always wanted children.
If any couple is used to overcoming obstacles,
having a family, it's been at the top of the priority list.
It's Nikki and Chris Runge.
I was deaf since birth growing up.
For 5 years, they've been trying to get pregnant. Last year, deciding to go through fertility treatments. The doctor's office brought in a supposed sign language interpreter for Nikki, and that's when the real obstacles began.
First time I've experienced anybody like this, the worst interpreter ever.
They soon realized the interpreter wasn't saying what Nikki was, because Chris isn't deaf.
So finally, Chris had to get in and correct what she said.
I had to step in 2 or 3 times. And this is an emotional process for me too. And I'm trying to be involved, and it's very hard to at the same time be the interpreter.
The problems escalated, they say, until finally during a group therapy session, the interpreter simply stopped talking and left.
Unfortunately, I had a bad experience as well.
They weren't the only ones struggling to be heard.
I started getting knots in my stomach.
Avi Hamowitz, who's also deaf, was in a critical meeting with Jefferson County Human Services when she realized the hired interpreter was misinterpreting.
I would ask, is this what you said? No, this is not what she said. This is what she's saying.
Turns out, in both cases, they say the interpreters were sent by the same translation service, A&A Languages, based in this Centennial home. The owner has repeatedly refused our request for comment.
I don't want that camera filming anything, okay?
But this provision is extremely clear.
Amy Robertson, an attorney with the Civil Rights Education and Enforcement Center in Denver, is representing this group in a lawsuit against A&A. She says the company is breaking the law, sending interpreters who don't have the certification required under the Colorado Consumer Protection Act.
Why would a translation company hire uncertified interpreters?
I believe, just to be blunt, because it's cheaper.
She says A&A had contracts with Denver Health, Jeffco Social Services, and Adams County. Records show charging significantly less than sign language only agencies.
Unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
Jennifer Fowl with the Colorado Association for the Deaf tells us this is a widespread problem and potentially dangerous, comparing uncertified interpreters to unlicensed doctors.
What do you think needs to be done to keep this from happening?
Well, setting up a licensure board for the state.
We checked. Several states do require licensing for sign language interpreters. Colorado does not, even though the Deaf Association has been fighting for it. Until then,
we can take action. We can fix this and we can stop it.
The Rungies say they'll keep overcoming obstacles.
We are announcing my pregnancy.
And no matter what, they're coming out on top.
I can't argue with the end result.
Jacqueline Allen.
It has a hand, and I think that's a hand.
7 News.
Thousands of people sell milk.
It's known as liquid gold.
My gut told me that it was fake, that I was getting scammed.
But for people buying and selling human breast milk online,
we found salmonella in 3 of the samples that we tested.
It may be more like fool's gold.
Human milk should be out of the marketplace.
I'm a mother of 2.
When it comes to breastfeeding her 6-month-old daughter,
are you done?
Greeley mom Kayla Infante calls herself an overproducer.
So this whole top used to be full of milk.
A freezer full of liquid gold. That's when Kayla heard about a website called Only the Breast, classified ads for human milk, listing samples selling for $1 to $5 an ounce.
Kind of made sense to try to do that.
With so many now promoting breastfeeding benefits for babies, from lower risk of disease to higher IQ, the online milk marketplace has become a high-stakes game for buyers and sellers like Kayla.
I figured there would be maybe a few weird inquiries, but I didn't expect to get what I got.
What she got in just a moment. But first, we get gowned and gloved to go behind the scenes.
The traditional way moms get breast milk for their babies if they can't provide it is to come to a milk bank like this one, where all the milk is donated.
Mother's Milk Bank in Arvada is the largest milk bank in North America.
All of our donors are tested for the same things that blood donors are tested for.
Not only does the bank screen donors, the milk goes through a long process of pasteurization and testing for bacteria.
Moms are not compensated. We feel that there could be certain risks associated with that.
But are those risks real, or are milk banks protecting their market? Their processing fee is about $4 an ounce. Researchers decided to find out.
We purchased milk just as if we were a mom.
Dr. Sarah Keim with Ohio's Nationwide Children's Hospital bought more than 100 online milk samples and had them tested. What she found was chilling.
About 3/4 of the samples we purchased had either high levels of bacteria or had detectable amounts of bacteria that are known to cause disease.
The samples weren't just high in bacteria. 10% of the supposed breast milk samples tested positive for cow's milk. Assigned sellers topped off samples to make more money.
It is not safe to buy breast milk on the internet and feed it to your infant.
And it's not just buyer beware. Sellers like Kayla have stories too.
You can send the shipping fees.
The people contacting her had complicated schemes to pay for the milk, and PayPal confirmed they were scams. Others wanted her to nurse them.
It feels horrible.
Does it make you trust people less?
Absolutely. This just goes to show that people will take advantage of anything.
She has since pulled her ad and is now planning to donate to a milk bank instead. The milk money just wasn't worth the risk to herself and her baby. Jacqueline Allen.
Gonna burp?
7 News.
Jacqueline Allen is in her garage where, Jacqueline, your sprinkler controller isn't very smart?
No, it's not. You know, this may look familiar to a lot of people. I've got one of these older models that has lots of buttons and dials, and you have to be here in your garage to control it. But a new Denver company says it's figured out a way to use your existing sprinkler system smarter. People come here to shop big and save big, but not everything here is a good deal. So if you're really looking for a bargain, you may have to look hard, because hidden in a lot of grocery stores, you can find the clearance section.
Now, you've heard of renting cars, renting homes, renting movies, but what about renting chickens?
Yeah, we've been profiling unique Colorado companies and found one is Ruffling Feathers in Fort Collins. Denver 7 reporter Jacqueline Allen shows us the chicken coop ready for rent.
It's a movement clucking across Colorado. Backyard birds ruling the roost as one city after the next legalizes urban chickens.
It teaches kids where their food comes from, and you know where your food comes from. Got a couple in here.
Everyone wants fresh eggs.
Good job, ladies.
But not everyone wants to own the chickens.
It started as a joke, really. We said we were going to rent chickens.
It didn't take long, though, for these birds of a feather to start what they call their excellent egg venture.
Rent the chicken! Rent the chicken!
Their Fort Collins Fowl franchise rents 2 hens, a coop on wheels, and 100 pounds of feed for $400.
How many eggs would you get from these chickens?
You would get, for 2 chickens, you would get probably 8 to 14 eggs a week.
If you're doing the math, yes, they admit for $400 you could probably buy all this and the eggs. But after 6 months, it would be tougher to just chicken out.
People who are not sure that they want to commit to owning chickens in their backyard, they have this trial period.
And Rent the Chicken is already getting orders for the spring, prime laying season.
Lady in Boulder wants a deluxe coop, so we're going to have to learn real quick how to build a deluxe coop.
If the idea flies, they're ready to ruffle feathers.
We have a lot of possibilities.
The backyard farm for the commitment folk.
Could be Rent the Goat.
In Fort Collins, Jacqueline Allen, Denver 7.